Good evening, friends. I am Aram Jalke, lecturer at Automobile Department, SJP Trust Polytechnic, Nedsoshi. Today, I am discussing about questions or question bank of automotive electronics, that is 6th SEM Automobile Diploma Engineering. Under this second unit, that is Vehicle Computer Systems and Networking. 5 marks questions. Question number 1. Explain the meaning of microprocessor and program. Now, what is meant by microprocessor? Microprocessor, it is also called as central processing unit, similar to used in computer, and it is a solid state device that controls information flow in a vehicle. Microprocessors or ICs are integrated circuits having processor, memory and driver circuits. These are used to control LEDs, actuators like injectors, motors, etc. Once the microprocessors are programmed, they can repeatedly perform the same task with accuracy and precision. Microprocessor make decision quickly and control accurately. Now, program. A set of instruction is called as program and is designed or stored in a microprocessor. The programs are written documentations pertaining to the operation of systems and that are stored or programmed in memory. These are in the form of codes and in programming language. The computer memory holds the program and other data such as vehicle calibrations or specifications, which the microprocessor refers in performing the calculations and controlling the actuators. Program guide the microprocessor in taking decision. Now, question number 2. Explain functions of RAM and ROM. So there are two types of memories in a microprocessor or computer: random access memory and second one is read only memory. RAM, random access memory. So RAM is used during computer operation to store the data temporarily or to store the information. The microcomputer can write, read and erase the data from the RAM in any order. There is no particular order. Randomly it can pick or it can write the data or information in this memory, or it can erase also. Therefore it is called random. When the ignition key is turned off, the information in the RAM is erased. So that is RAM. And in this RAM only again we are having two types. Volatile RAM. A volatile RAM usually called keep alive memory, CAM. So memory has most of features of RAM. Means CAM is having features of RAM, but information from CAM is also not erased when ignition key is turned off. But if battery power is disconnected, information in CAM is erased. A non-volatile RAM, it does not lose its information even power source is disconnected, that is battery is disconnected from the vehicle. So that is RAM and RAM. Now ROM, read only memory. So read only memory, it is a permanent type of memory. Information is stored permanently in read only memory. Information in ROM cannot be erased even if the system is turned off or the microprocessor is disconnected from the battery. From this, the information can be read from ROM when making the decisions. The microprocessor is constantly referring to the stored information and the input from the sensors, and by comparing the information from these sources, the microcomputer makes the decisions. So this ROM, or in certain cases there it is desirable to modify the certain parameters. For example, in automotive applications, it may be desirable to permit authorized person to modify the program to improve the performance of the vehicle, so that he can rewrite it in certain cases. That is ROM. Now question number 3, list the difference between RAM, ROM and PROM. So already we have discussed RAM and ROM. Third one is PROM. So RAM, it is a read write memory which is volatile, means when power is turned off all the contents are erased. ROM means it is non-volatile memory or read only memory, which means it retains the stored information even if power is turned off. This memory is used to store the programs. And PROM is a programmable read only memory. So it is a memory chip on which data can be written on to only once. Once a program is written, it remains forever. It is one time programmable device. So it retains its contents when the computer is turned off also. The difference between the ROM and PROM is that PROM is manufactured as blank memory and programmed later with a special device called PROM, that is programmable read only memory. Question number 4, explain the functions of input and output interfaces. Now microcomputer or ECU, it has to communicate with the outer world, that is with outer systems like sensors, etc. and actuators. So a microcomputer requires interfaces or interface devices that enable them to communicate with other systems. Input-output interface is required for a microprocessor to get the information from input devices. So input devices are generally sensors, switches, etc. For example, accelerator pedal, and to share or send command signals to the actuators like injectors, etc. Interfaces are the circuits at input and output side to convert the voltage signal into binary and the binary into voltage signals at input and output ports respectively. So special adapters are used as per the requirement of the system. Now question number 4, so sketch the general block diagram of computer ECU and name its parts. So general block diagram of ECU is given here. So it consists of different components in it. We draw it and name it. So different engine management system we have taken here as a ECU or engine management microcontroller, and this engine management ECU will be having number of sensors. Different sensors are there: vehicle speed, engine temperature, manifold, vacuum, throttle position, mass, air. So all these parameters are read and output is given or generated. So fuel injector driver is there, ignition coil driver, solenoid driver is there. So different systems are actuated by this system. So you only draw and name the parts. Now question number 6, explain the working of open loop control system with a block diagram. So open loop system is shown here: input switch, now electric power, clothes dryer, output drying clothes. So it is open, that is dryer is taken here as example. Now other systems may be fan that is also open system. Okay, heater, that is also open system. Then AC. Okay, so these are the examples. Now what is meant by open loop control system? Open loop control system in which the output has no influence on the or effect on the control action of the input signal. So whatever the input we are getting the output, and there is no feedback. So it does not have feedback line to control the output of the system. Example: on off switches, lights, motors, heaters, dryers, etc. Figure represents open loop electric cloth dryer which does not have the feedback. It goes on drying the clothes, for which the length of the time is the entirely dependent on the judgment of the human operator, with no automatic feedback of the dryness of the clothes. So there is no feedback, and whatever the length of the time is required, it is decided by the operator. So how long he keep it on or off, that is called as open loop system. Now advantages of this system. So advantages are: it is simple system, less expensive, easy to maintain, no stability problem. But disadvantage is no control on the output, inaccurate, less reliable. Okay, that. So next question here is explain the working of closed loop control system with block diagram. So it is again 5 marks question. You draw simple sketch, different components you have to name. So this closed loop control system is one which is having feedback line. So some measurement system is there, or sensor will be there at the output side. So it is having a feedback line to control the output of the system according to the requirement. So different elements of closed loop control system are shown here. So there is a comparison element, then control unit, correction unit, process unit, then feedback element is there. Then in this closed loop system there is a reference value, that is the input. Okay, so input is given. Take for example, we are controlling some motor, and RPM is your input RPM required. You give the input as 1500 RPM. Then it is transferred to the actuator. Actuator will be working and its speed is measured. And if it is not 1500, and that is measured, speed is measured, and feedback is given to the comparison element. So here the required or the reference input is 1500, but we are not getting, it is 1450. You take for example. Now there will be a control unit, so their comparison element will generate the error signal, and this error signal is transferred to the control unit, and there will be intermediate signal to the correction unit, and correction unit will correct, or it will generate one more signal to correct the or change the speed of the actuator. So here continuously loop will be there, and that is why it is called as closed loop control system. Now different components have been explained here. Comparison element, it compares measured output value from feedback system with required or reference value. If any error comes, then error signal is given to the control unit to take the corrective action. Now control element or control unit, when error signal is sent to the control unit from comparison element, control element generates correction signal called intermediate signal. Then correction element, it generates signal or reaches correction elements, it corrects the error so that it is 0 to obtain the required output. Then process element, which controls the process or system. Measurement element, it is feedback system to which it measures the output. So different components are explained here. So it is 5 marks question. We have to reduce only system operation, we can write it. Now next question, compare open loop and closed loop control system. So one side here we have given open loop and another one is closed loop. So in open loop, output has no effect on the control action, whereas in closed loop the output has, or it alters it to the desired condition. Second one, it works on the fixed operation condition. Open loop, there are no disturbances. Closed loop, it reacts on external disturbances. Open loop, it is more stable, but in closed loop its stability program is there. Open loop, it is inaccurate, closed loop accurate. Open loop simple, closed loop complex. Open loop low cost, then closed loop costly. So next question number 9, explain the meaning of multiplexing and its need. So multiplexing is a technique that can simplify the wiring in a car. So in old cars, the wires from each switch run to the device they power. With more and more devices at the driver's command, multiplexing is necessary to keep the wiring getting out of control. So in old methods, the wiring was too long and bundle of wires were running through entire vehicle. So to reduce that one, multiplexing is used. So in a multiplexed system, a module containing at least one microprocessor, and it consolidates, means it receives input from all the switches and gives the output for an area or particular area of the car. For example, you take driver's door. So it is having number of switches. So some cars have the power windows, power mirror, power lock, and even power seats, control on the doors. So it will be impractical to run the thick bundle of wire as in case of old cars. So that would come from a system like this out of the door. So instead of this, the driver door module monitors all the switches by the system multiplexer. Hence the multiplexing is a method by which multiple analog and digital signals are combined into one signal over a shared medium. The aim is to share a scarce resource. It is also known as muxing, which is a way of sending multiple signals or streams of information over a communication link at the same time in the form of a single complex signal. The receiver recovers the signals from the single complex signal and routes it to one of the several digital output lines. This device is known as demultiplexer or demux. Okay, so multiplexing is similar to communication system, that is the telecom systems. Number of inputs are collected, then transferred through a single line. Then at the receiver end, these signals are separated there and sent to the particular receiver. Okay, so that is similar to communication. That technique is used here. Now list the advantages of multiplexing. So if we use the multiplexer, then what is the advantage? So multiplexing wiring harnesses are smaller and they are simple so that there is a saving in cost and weight of the system. Second one, it is easy to have automated manufacture of the harness. Harness will become simple and automated manufacturing is possible. Third one, harness installation on the vehicle assembly track can be much faster. Okay, so fourth one is a reduction in the number of wires and connectors improves the reliability, and this system can include self-diagnosis features. So it helps the operator or technician to trace the faults easily. That is the advantage of multiplexing. Now question number 11, explain the meaning of networking and its need. Question number 11, explain the meaning of networking and its need. So nowadays modern cars are having number of issues, and these issues are connected with the networking system. A primary purpose of automotive networking system is to reduce the amount of wire that is used, because modern vehicles are using hundreds of issues and operate on number of sensors, switches, etc. Also issues are dependent on each other, because engine issue, transmission issues, other issues will communicate, are dependent. Therefore, to interconnect issues or module, networking is necessary in the vehicle. So issue can transmit and receive digital signals over a serial data bus, allowing one module to share data with other modules. For example, signal relating to speed is required for different systems. So it is required for the suspension system, then transmission system, then engine control system. So rather than having 3 sensors, we can have only one sensor, and the issues will communicate, or they will share the data from this single sensor. So that is the need of networking. So for controlling the vehicle, the different issues will communicate with each other, and that is the networking necessity. Now what are the applications? So here it should be application. So file sharing, so files are shared by the issues, then applications are shared, hardware sharing, user communication, networking, gaming, etc. That is the application of the networking system. Now question number 12, explain the meaning of CAN and its merits. Now CAN means control area network. Okay, so it is one type of network. The word CAN means control area network. It is robust vehicle bus, means it is a bus to connect the different nodes or issues, and it is designed to allow issues to communicate. CAN is a high speed serial data bus capable of transferring up to 1 million bits of data per second. Okay, it is a multi-master serial bus standard for connecting issues called nodes, and it is priority based protocol system without host computer. Priority based means, so which node is transmitting the bit first, or which is transmitting the dominant bit, the priority or the preference is given to that node. So all the nodes are keeping their messages are the in the form of bits on the common line, but the node which is keeping the dominant bit first, that or for that node is given preference and that message will be transferred. So the message transferring or the message starting with 1, that is dominant bit, is first transferred, and the message having 0 will be next. So nodes are keeping the messages, but all the nodes can see these messages on the line or transmitting line. So all nodes are connected to each other through a 2-wire bus system. Wires are twisted pair with 120 ohm resistor as shown in sketch. So here CAN nodes 1, 2, 3, and with 2-wire system they are connected to the network. Okay. Now what are the merits of this CAN system? So decreased number of wires again, then common sensor for all issues. A single sensor may be shared by different issues in a vehicle. CAN networking allows greater flexibility. Functions can be added through the software. You can add or remove the software and change the functions. CAN can be designed or diagnosed very easily. So diagnostic system is very easy, and it provides noise free service. Messages are transmitted based on priority, that is dominant bit and recession bits, and traffic congestion is eliminated by this the priority based system, priority based protocol system. CAN provides error free transmission, as each node can check for the error. So it can provide interconnection between different systems of vehicle. Due to that, there will be increased safety in a vehicle. Now next question, state the different types of CAN with their application. So classification of CAN. To classify the various CAN system, the Society of Automobile Engineers has defined 3 basic categories of vehicle based CAN network, and it depends on speed and applications. Now class A system, first type system is class A system. So this class A systems are low speed buses having speed up to 10 kilobits per second, and it can transfer several thousand pieces per second. It is suitable for use in the control of body electronic systems, windows, sunroof, mirrors, lights, etc. These are inexpensive due to their speed. That is second type of CAN system, class B system. Class B systems are faster than class A, and they are having medium speed of 10 kilobits per second to 125 kilobits per second, that is 10 kbs to 125 kbs. So it can transfer general information, transfer messages in instrument cluster, speed, emissions data, engine and transmission management, ABS and control systems use this class B systems. Now third one is class C system, or high speed bus having speed of 125 kilobits to 1 megabit per second, and these transfer messages in real time control like power, train control, vehicle dynamics, brake by wire, etc. In these systems, the class C systems are used. Now next 10 marks question now. Question number 1. Sketch the block diagram of computer ECU with its microprocessor and explain its function. So we can draw the block diagram of general computer also, that is CPU, input devices, output devices, memory, then clock, program, etc. So you can draw this. Almost all of you know this. Now main components of computer or ECU are CPU, central processing unit, input output devices, memory, program, clock, input output interfaces. Now data processing is the main function of computer. Okay, in case of digital computer, data means 0 and 1, that is binary data. A program is a set of instruction, already we have discussed. Input device, these are the input to computer like sensors, switches. Output devices, after processing input, processor gives the output. Now microprocessor system. So computer is having microprocessor and system. The central component of computer that controls and performs all the operation in microprocessor, which is made of many electronic subsystems called integrated circuits. Block diagram of microprocessor system is shown here. In this, microprocessor is connected to the other systems is shown, and it is connected to the other components by means of 3 wire buses. Okay, so there are 3 components here, that is memory ROM, memory RAM, then input output. Okay, so these are 3 components, and these are connected to microprocessor with the help of the, that is the bus system, wire systems. Okay, so different buses here are, first bus, that is address bus. A group of wires that carries the address is called the address bus. The address bus uses 32 bits, and these bits enable computer to access 2 raised to 32 memory locations. Okay, so how much memory locations or bits it can access, that is 2 raised to 32 memory locations it can access. Means microprocessor is generating the address, and that goes to the memory and access the location. Now data bus. The data bus slightly different, consists of 8 wires. In that, CPU uses it to read the information. Address bus is to locate the location of the data, and data bus is to transmit data from the memory to the microprocessor. So the CPU uses it to read the information from memory or from peripherals, that is different input output devices, and to write information into memory or peripherals. So data means it transmits or reads data from the memory, or data is transferred from microprocessor to the memory, or from microprocessor to the output devices. So it can be, or data can be transferred from these 3 components to the microprocessor, and from microprocessor to these 3 components. Now control bus. So all these operations relating to control actions are carried by the control bus. So microprocessor is generating the codes, and control bus is controlling this all the operations, that is address is decided by the control unit only, and it is read from the particular memory, that is ROM and RAM. Okay. A signal relating to control action is carried by control bus. Okay. Microprocessor generates or places address of data required on address bus, and address is decided, then it is read from the particular memory. So this is a microprocessor system. Now microprocessor, so here there is a microprocessor, and this microprocessor is the calculating part of the computer. So this my computer or microprocessor is having different parts, and these parts are, first one is ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. So it performs the data manipulation, that is arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, comparison and other logic operations. Second one is registers. So different registers are required in the microprocessor to store the data. Now these are the registers are the memory locations and are used to store temporarily the information involved in the program. So first type of register is accumulator register, where data for input to the arithmetic and logic unit temporarily stored. Okay. Then B, status or condition code registers or flag register. This contains the information regarding the result of the latest process, that is the process carried out in the ALU. It indicates whether negative, positive or 0 or carry out occurs, etc. Now third one is program counter register or instruction pointer. So this register is used to allow CPU to keep track of its position in the program. So this contains address of the memory location that contains next program instruction. So it helps the microprocessor to know the track of position in the program. Now memory address register. So this contains address of data finally stored. So output of the microprocessor that is stored in a main memory, and its addresses are stored in the memory address register. Instruction register. So this stores an instruction after fetching an instruction from the memory via data bus. The CPU stores it in the instruction register. So after fetching the instruction, MPU increments program counter by 1 with points to the next instruction. General purpose register, these may be served as temporary storage for data or addresses and used in operation involving transfer between other registers. Next register is stack point register. The contents of this register form an address which defines the top of the stack in RAM. Okay, so at the top layer, what is the data available or address. Now control unit. The control unit controls all the operations of a microprocessor system. This unit determines the timing and sequence of operation. So it is a 10 marks question. You can reduce this also. First we have to give introduction, little bit introduction about general computer, that is main parts. Then microprocessor system, ROM, RAM, input output devices, microprocessor. Little bit we can explain it. That is 3 address bus, data bus, control bus. Then finally microprocessor sketch. You draw it and name the registers, but should know what is the meaning of these registers or functions of these registers. So you can summarize for 10 marks, otherwise it will be very big question. Okay. So next type of register is memory address register. So this contains address of data finally stored. One more is instruction register. This stores an instruction after fetching an instruction from memory via data bus. The CPU stores it in the instruction register. So after fetching information, microprocessor increments these points with 1 point to the next instruction. General purpose register. These may serve as temporary storage for data or address and used in operation involving transfer between other registers. Stack point register. This register contains information of an address which defines the top of the stack in RAM. So it contains address of the information which is at the top layer. Then control rack, control unit. The control unit controls all the operations of a microprocessor system. This unit determines the timing and sequence of operation. Okay, so that is the issue and its. So question number 2. Sketch the block diagram of computer issue with its microprocessor and explain its working in automobile environment. So issue has 4 components or basic components here. That is input conditioning and analog to digital converter, amplifier, etc. That is the first component. Second one is regulating the reference voltage. Some of the sensors need some reference voltage. That is second unit which provides reference voltage. Then third one is processing. Processor is there and it processes. Then fourth one, that is managing output drivers. So these are the 4 basic functions: input conditioning, regulating reference voltage, processing and managing the output. Okay, so the working of microprocessor in automobile environment. So it is similar to the processes in general computer, but here data input, first step here is the data input. So vehicle means it is having number of sensors and these sensors are located in different positions. So these sensors are input devices and they are giving output and they read the parameters and generate the output in the form of voltage, that is in analog form. These must be converted into digital by an analog to digital converter, and these are input to issue and it should be in the form of, that is binary numbers. That is first step. Next one is data processing. Now whatever the data received from the sensors, it is processed, means it is fetched, stored in the memory, same time it is executed as per the instruction from the RAM or instruction stored in the RAM and compared with that information already stored in the RAM, then it gives an output. So the data processing is done by the microprocessor. It contains a control unit that executes program instructions stored in the ROM and an arithmetic logic unit to perform numeric calculation and logic processing. So processor compares these input signals with stored values in the ROM and outputs are mapped. For example, temperature of the engine stored in the memory, that is in program, is 101 degree centigrade maximum temperature. The processor compares sensor input, it may be 98 for example, 98 degree centigrade, and keep the engine in on position. Okay, otherwise if it is more than 101 degree, then engine will be off as per the instructions or information stored in the memory. Now third step here is outputs. So ECU processes or microprocessor processes and it gives the result. So the result of processing operation must be converted or transferred to the output signals to actuate the actuators, which are responsible for controlling the automobile systems. Once the MPU generates output, that will be converted into analog to actuate the actuator. In turn, these voltages control the actuator. For example, fuel injectors in a fuel injection system, or a motor in a power steering, or an actuator or solenoid actuator or shock absorber in a suspension system. So this is how the computer or ECU works in automobile environment. Question number 3. Explain the need of program and process of information storage and information retrieval. Okay, first program, need of program. So program is a set of instruction and designed into the microprocessor. The programs are written documentation pertaining to the operation of system and stored in the ROM or memory in the form of codes or programming languages. The computer memory holds the program and other data or specifications of the vehicle. Now information storage. So whatever the input received from the sensors, etc., or any information from the other devices, that should be stored. The program of microprocessor is stored into a storage area accessible to the microprocessor, that is in ROM. The microprocessor gets one instruction and perform it, and then get the next instruction. The storage area or memory can also contain data that the instruction operates on. The memory contains many different locations. These information storage locations may be compared to the files and folders in a filing cabinet, and each location contains one piece of information. An address is assigned to each memory locations. This address may be compared to lettering or numbering on the files or folders. Each address is written in a binary code, and these codes are numbered sequentially beginning with 0. While the engine is running, the computer receives a large quantity of information from a number of sensors. The computer may not be able to process all this memory immediately. So in some instances, computer may receive sensor inputs that the computer requires to make number of decisions. In these cases, microprocessor write this information into memory by specifying a memory address and sending information to this address. That is how it stores the data into the memory by attaching a address. Now information retrieval. When stored information is required, the microprocessor specifies stored information address and request the information. This is known as information retrieval, fetching the information from the memory. When stored information is requested from a specific address, the memory sends a copy of this information to the microprocessor. However, the original stored information is still retained in the memory address. The memory stores information regarding the ideal air-fuel ratios for various operating conditions. The sensors inform computer about the engine and vehicle operating conditions. The microprocessor reads the ideal air-fuel ratio information from memory and compares this information with sensor inputs. After this comparison, the microprocessor makes the necessary decision and operates the actuator injector to provide the exact air-fuel ratio required by the engine. So this is how the information is stored, or information storage and retrieval in a electronic control unit or computer. Now question number 4, already it is discussed. Explain the meaning of CAN, control area network, its merits and types is added here for 10 marks question. You write all three. Meaning of CAN already explained, its merits and types are added here. One more 10 marks question. Explain the types of CAN. So 3 types and their application already explained in the 5 marks question. You elaborate it and write about the write for 10 marks question. Okay. Thank you and 1 night.